true. You know the deal. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. A support leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. A supports truth, let it flow. Shouting loud, every show. Truth in the news they can't control. Fearless warriors in the fray. Flame of freedom, bright as day. Cut through noise, clear the gray. A support, we're here to stay. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. A support leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. Ace reports truth, let it blow. Shouting loud, every show. Truth in the news they can't control. They can't silence what we say. We're the voice of the USA. Stand your ground, make them pay. Ace report leads the way. Leads the way. Leads the way. Leads the way. Clouds of lies hanging low. Ace the way. Leads the way.
And here we go.
And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific. He comes in with 100 of very smart people. You know, it started off with 12, then it went to 15, then it went to 25, then it went to 50, and everybody wants to join. And I guess you have to have an IQ of about 175 at least to do it. They're a smart group of people. They don't dress as well as you or maybe me, but they are smart. And they go in there and they talk to people, and the people get all tongue-tied because they have no idea. You know, nobody thought this would be caught. And
So you'll fight this in court, but how does it work with Elon day to day? Does he come in and say, this is what I'm working on? Does he say, here's what we're doing?
First of all, he's a great guy. He was never really a supporter or not a supporter. He was a, you know, sort of semi-neutral kind of a guy, not a political person, very smart, a brilliant person, and which I like. I'm a big believer in IQ points. I mean, it's a good thing. And I've gotten to know him a little bit over the last couple of years. During the campaign, he liked what I said. He went to Pennsylvania. He actually campaigned right after the rocket ship went up, where he caught it coming down, which nobody saw before. He then took off. He went to Pennsylvania. He actually campaigned for me and did a very good job. I won Pennsylvania by a lot. I won everything by a lot. But Elon, I'd say go in here, because USAID, I heard very bad things about for years. I mean, you did too. I mean, I'm sure you did too. It's a scam. It's a fraud, a lot of it, most of it. But it's a fraud. Look at the jobs that they produce for people. I'm not even going to mention their name. It's too big a show to mention their name. It's almost unfair. But the whole thing is a giant fraud. And I think judges will have to do the right thing, really. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole big problem with the country. Now,
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it.
You know, I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do. Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%.
They don't like that.
When Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far, versus just 11 days during his entire first term that Trump has a
Harry, tell
positive
us.
net approval rating. Quite a different world.
Tell us all the good numbers, Harry. Harry, we need you to explain it to us more. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday evening. Welcome to the Ace Report. Good to see you all. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff before we get diving into the news of the day and all the craziness, breaking narratives that need to be broken, sharing the wins. Holy smokes, we're winning so hard right now. That Trump's so hot right now. The Hansel's so hot right now. It's unbelievable. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. And thank God it does, because the Super Bowl sucked and it wasn't fun to watch. It was terrible, but it wasn't all bad, which we're going to cover here in a minute. But first, I got to say hello to the beautiful people in the chat. Wago Waco, numero uno tonight. What's up, buddy? Cassink, Linda Telly, Danny Gigal, Linda Telly. You are welcome. Somebody bought your membership and they are happy to have done so. Kevin, what's up? Donkey, what's up? Big B, Derek Collins, Toe Cramp the One, what to do? Vinman, Canis, Chad Youngkin, Sonawa, Kim Wiley, Joe Scarpaja, Hero at Large, Frank Anastasio, Just Mike is now a member. Welcome, buddy. CJ Yukon, Thomas Dubois, Drew Savala, Michael Tucker, Alan Krentz, Shogun, Robert Kapke, Girth Mike, Justin Yancey, Brett Montgomery, Hero, Barbara L, Kathy, Randy Atwell. Good to see you all. I can't go any further. That's a lot of people I just called out. All right, Phil, I'll call you out. You made it in time. Phil Zill and the Hezzy. Good to see you guys tonight. Again, if you're new, like, share, subscribe. Consider joining, get extra members lives and Discord chat and all that fun stuff. All right, you guys ready? Holy smokes, a lot happened in the last few days. So I have so much to go through. So I can't wait no longer. Can't wait no longer. We gotta get moving. Did you guys watch that game yesterday? That I live tweeted a lot of it. Made a lot of people mad. So that was always fun. People don't get my humor sometimes, you know. I'm an easygoing guy. I'm pretty laid back. I just like to have fun, but I also like to, I like to stick it to people a little bit. I kind of rib people. It's like, it's fun for me. I grew up, my friends and I, it's like if we tease you, it meant we love you more. And some people, when I'm teasing on tweets and being a little edgy, just kind of like trying to get a rise out of you, people get offended, man. You gotta, but I'm not going to change. It's just the way it is. And if you get offended, I'm sorry. That's on you, not on me. But, it's like, can we just have some fun? We just have some fun. I was making fun of the Super Bowl the whole time yesterday because it sucked. I'll be honest. I've watched every Super Bowl since 1994. What is that? That is 31 in a row. Haven't missed one. And yesterday was up there with Seahawks Broncos as the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen. It was just so stupid. But hey, congrats to the Eagles. They earned it. And the Chiefs, apparently the refs were not on their side this time. So that kind of threw a little wrench in the conspiracy. But listen, I still know what I saw against the Bills. That game was rigged. Anyways, Barbara L with the 10 memberships. Thank you, Barbara. Who'd you bring in? Barry, Doug Mizo, Gretchen Rutherford is back. Morty back in. What is going on? A couple other people. Great. Welcome to the membership. And Yato, we're going to get you a good good update tonight. If you guys saw, listen, so I watched that halftime show last night also. It was also epically boring. I am not a Kendrick Lamar fan. I'm not a modern rap fan. I do like old rap, like 90s rap. I listen to it a lot. There's a whole story there about a phase I went through. But, I haven't followed him. Don't really care for stuff. Kind of like the Black Panther soundtrack. That was all I really knew. And I thought it was boring. But apparently there's more going on in that show than meets the eye. As Alex Jones shares here, the Great Awakening continues. Popularity top rapper Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us proves the world is aware of pedophilic kingpins in the entertainment industry. In the song, he called out Drake for being a pedophile along with other stuff. Now, I'm not going to replay this because copyright reasons, but I'll tell you that I did not know that as I was listening. And so obviously there's a lot more going on at this Super Bowl than meets the eye. And that's what made it interesting. Unfortunately, we didn't get any DOGE commercials. That would have been awesome. But we did get apparently some just messaging coming across. And if this is true, which, I like Alex, I was watching Kendrick Lamar. Couldn't believe what he was out there saying. He called out the pedophiles. The pedophiles and globalists. And I told him, I said, I can't believe you just did that. But you did at the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it's all coming down. They're going crazy out there, Joe. And I love Alex. He gets a little crazy sometimes for my taste, but listen, when he says stuff like this, I trust it. And I've seen it confirmed in other sources. So that's a pretty big deal if that's getting out there to a billion people. And I'm not into modern music, but if you are and your kids are, there might be an awakening going on with that. So that was pretty cool to see. Dubois says Kelsey threw the game. Luigi, you watched a video Trump's not going after naked shorts. What video? I'd love you to send it to me, because that doesn't make any sense at all. I definitely know that didn't come from him, because I've been following everything from him. So Seahawks Super Bowl was fun for you. I bet it was, Shogun. The best memory in your life. And that's okay. If you're a Seahawks fan, it's okay. Happy to see KC lose. Yeah, I hear that. Most America, I think, was. Even though it's not like I didn't love the Eagles, but I got to say, their comments at the end were very humble. Sirianni surprised me. I've never liked him. But man, he was crying and he said some beautiful stuff about Jesus. And so I was like, man, he kind of won me over. So I was glad the Eagles won. It worked out. So thank you, Donkey says Chiefs didn't realize their money was being laundered through USAID. They never got the memo. Marco says I would have enjoyed if I knew about the beef. I knew about the beef. I didn't know the details. So Chiefs got robbed. I don't know if you could say they got robbed. I mean, they got thoroughly destroyed. I watched the whole game. There was a couple bad calls early, don't get me wrong, and here and there, but it definitely wasn't enough to swing the game. I've never seen Mahomes play so bad. Never seen him play so bad. So G's commercial and Secret Service. Yeah, there were some good ads. Absolutely, Alan. I agree. Is the NFL still paying Jay-Z to produce? I don't know. That's very interesting. Craig says with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Craig. It was very generous of you. Says now do a Trump impression. All right. Well, I don't have a great Trump impression, but I'll give it to me. Okay. So give me a second. Just because you paid for it. If you hadn't paid for it, I want to do this, but I will always do an impression if you guys pay for it. Okay. So let me do this impression. Then we're got a lot of news to get through, but hold on. So, I picked the Chiefs. I thought they were going to win huge, bigly, but they didn't. And that's okay. Because the Eagles, they came, they did a great job. You've never seen a win so big. And you know what? They cheered me and they booed Taylor. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm hearing they don't like Taylor so much anymore, and that, it was sad. I saw Mahomes. He was very sad. And, but congratulations to the Eagles. You win big. You win big. You win huge. See, I don't have a good Trump. I just can't get his voice. I can kind of mimic him, but I can't get his voice. My voice is too deep, I think. He's got a very unique voice, but I can do some other impressions. Speaking of Trump, they hated this, friends. They hated seeing this. This made them so sad. So sad, too bad, so sad. But Trump shows up on the Jumbotron and the people's president came out. Who are they cheering? Oh, the man, the legend himself. On the Jumbotron, the crowd goes nuts. You can't make this up. I mean, this is America's president. I showed you guys that clip at the beginning to give you an idea. His approval is the highest it's ever been. And 70% of the nation says he's keeping his promises. Folks, that doesn't happen. No president has ever had something like that where 70% of people would have said he kept his promises. That means even people who don't like him are agreeing he's keeping his promises. And honestly, if you see that and you're like, he's keeping his promises even though I don't like him, that will keep winning more people over. So that's where we're at. On the other hand, things didn't go so well for Mrs. Kelsey. So yeah, she came up on the jumbo screen as well, and she just didn't know what to do about it. Oh, what's wrong, Taylor? Look at that face. She can't believe she's being booed. This is a good wake-up call for her. You're no longer America's sweetheart. Like, look at, I like your first 4 albums, okay? The Country Taylor, I like it. I can't lie. Very catchy stuff, family friendly. I listen to it with my kids. It's great. Then she became modern Taylor. It's all gone downhill. But she was America's sweetheart and not so much anymore. She doesn't know what to think. You hear her mouth? What's going on? And there's Trump right there. What just a mean camera cut. I love it. I love it. So these were the moments of the Super Bowl that made it kind of worth watching. Drew says we don't have the MAGA point SEC chairman yet. Yeah, that's exactly right. Once that happens, things will change for sure. Brett says if the Chiefs won yesterday with the debacle of the calls of the playoff games, the NFL would be absolutely filling it today this season with viewership. And I agree with you. Yeah. Okay, so no, that's right. You liked my impression, Craig? Thank you. Dave, chill, man. I can do my impressions if I want to. It's my show. You know, go get your own mic. Jay-Z's Rock Nation partner with the NFL produced halftime. Well, that's not cool. Alan with the 10 memberships. Thank you, Alan. Let's see who I recognize here. Dips Patel is back in. Buzzman, welcome to the membership, guys. You now get members lives once a week at least, and then Discord. You're in the Discord now, so welcome. Jump in the chat with us. We talk stocks and news all day as it happens. It's a lot of fun. Brett says he's glad the NFL ended racism. Me too, man. Me too. Taylor went in the second generation Madonna skank face. Oh God. Oh, that's so mean. There's not a lot of 13-year-old girls in the audience. They wasted all their money going to the Eras tour, where they paid $1,000 a ticket for that. So, okay, let's keep it moving. That's really all I have to cover on the Super Bowl. I am going to be reporting some other stuff on it eventually because I think there's more that happened, but it's just going to take some more time to come out. And I want to listen to some of the people I trust and see what they saw before I report it. So maybe in the next couple of days, I'll have a little bit more on there. So Stella says he won't let you gift the memberships. Are you on Apple? It might be because you're on Apple. Stupid Apple. They just hate. Their war with Google is costing me money. Sucks. Sorry, Stella. I'm sorry for that. But if you still want to give or super chat, you can use super chat, or you can my Venmo's in the chat if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much. Okay, let's keep going. So President Trump ended the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau today. That sounds bad, right? Because it's got a catchy name. They're great at marketing, aren't they? No, this is a total rig scheme. They use it to go after people who don't deserve to be gone after. And you know, it was run by Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas ran it. And so anyways, let's hear Trump's words on it before we hear all this other stuff going on.
Mr. President, regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, have said that by freezing it, it's giving big banks and giant corporations the green light to scam families.
Pocahontas is the faker. That was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people. And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has.
So real quick, she's a fake, just like when she said she's an Indian. Trump is the absolute best. We do not deserve him. You have more, just, my God, people. It's like, he's so funny even when he doesn't mean to be. Do you guys realize today is only 3 weeks? It's only 21 days in. That means we still have 52 is 156 plus 49. we still have 165 plus 4, 205 weeks left of this. I'm so excited.
She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people, and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas that say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman, despite her phony beer commercial. We did the right thing. That was a very important
Phony
thing to get
beer
rid
commercial.
of. And it was also a waste. I mean, number one, it was a bad group of people running it, but it was also a waste. If you looked at when she really ran it, wow, that was a vicious group of people. They really destroyed a lot of people.
And you can confirm it's your goal is to have it totally eliminated,
I
the
would
agency?
say, yeah, because we're trying to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse.
What's next?
And didn't I hear that somebody made like $38 million or something running a little agency? What was her name? What was her name? And what did she do? And what was that all about? All the money that she made? Does anybody know? Okay. Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Good to see you.
I mean, wow, just he breaks it down so beautifully. It's so corrupt. And what I love about this, okay, we started USAID, okay, or USAID. We're getting it all out there. I always say USAID. That is just exposing more and more. And now he's hitting just everything. There's nothing safe. And it's moving so fast, they don't know what to do about it. Okay. So last week, he gets them to the point where they're all going up in arms about USAID, and immediately it's moving on to other things. CFPB is next. What I heard, all the NPR DEI staff is now leaving. It just keeps moving. And it's not only, I mean, he's not just talking about defunding it or cleaning it up. I mean, Russ Vogt today says employees should not come into the office as acting director of the CFPB now. Russell Vogt, who also got in as the OMB secretary, please don't perform any work tasks, completely shutting it down. He doesn't care. And you guys don't worry. I'm going to talk about the judges in a second. I'm going to talk about the SEC. I'm going to talk about gold. Okay. I see your guys' questions. You're all getting ahead of me on that stuff, and that's okay. I get it. I'll get to it. Okay. But they don't care. He's still moving forward. And there's plenty of reasons for this. Okay. But let's just keep moving on and other stuff. I'm going to cover all these things, guys. But Stella asked, did I hear the Pennsylvania governor named as involved in assassination attempt? Yes, I did. And just 1 second on that, I'll say the Shapiro is named. A whistleblower came out yesterday and said Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, was in on setting up the assassination attempt on Trump. That is wild. That is a wild accusation. Okay. I don't know if there's anything to it other than the whistleblower. So, couple things. When I hear news like that, I'm just going to talk. Like right now, I'm just going to say, hey, this is announced. It's out there. That is wild. It's also so crazy that I'm not going to do much other reporting on it until we get more confirmation, until this rabbit hole starts opening up a little bit more, because that also could just be somebody who's trying to get back at Shapiro or something. I don't know. That is a wild accusation. Do I believe it's possible? Of course I do. The Democrats in power are insane. Okay. They are insane. Shapiro tries to be it comes across as one of those moderates. He's also got presidential ambitions, which is why he didn't want to be vice president this time, because he hated Kamala and thought she was going to lose. So he's, he doesn't want any part of this. But would he have gone so far to, like, it's obvious and could already be exposed that he's in on the assassination attempt? That's pretty crazy and wild. So listen, I'm not going to be surprised if it comes out it's true or there's more comes to this. But as of right now, I'm not going to go too much more, because that's the only information we have, is that he was named. So we'll have to see what's in on that. Also, I don't think Shapiro would have had any time with the or connection to the Secret Service, but Biden would have. So that's the kind of weird stuff. Alan Kren says, I'm counting names, not a member type something in, so I can see if I can get you in. Are you trying to find out who's not a member? They're all the gray names are not members, man. But thank you. You're getting a lot of them. But I do think it goes to all subs, as Roger said. So thank you guys for that. Matt says, prediction, I'm going to say by November, the IRS will be completely shut down. Oh, that would be amazing. I think that's a little bit optimistic. I think it's much more likely by the end of Trump's term or the beginning of the next Republican term, JD Vance. But we'll see. Martin writes, every time Philadelphia team wins a national sports league, the following year is a recession. It's true, although there wasn't a recession in 2018 because they won in 2017, the Super Bowl, but there was the stock market had a rough year. That is true. So yeah, the 3-day rule on that one. That's right, Krantz. That's a good. Yeah, exactly, Roger. That'd be a lot of libel. So that's not why I'm going in that one. That's interesting. Alan Gomez writes, the average return for S&P 500 after NFC team wins is 5.5%. 16% when the AFC team wins. Wow. Now that's a wild statistic. Had no idea. Brett says, I'm curious if when the memberships are handed out, if someone's on Apple, they don't get one. Good question. I don't know how it works. All I know is it's completely randomized as far as I can tell. But yes, I'm sure they have an algorithm, and I would not be surprised if Google punishes people on Apple. Okay, another crazy story that came out today. JFK Files fall from the sky, astonishing the swamp. What is this wild story? This is pretty crazy, but also could be really fun for all of us. The FBI just discovered about 2,400 records tied to the Kennedy assassination that were never provided to a board tasked with reviewing and disclosing the documents. Guys, this is wild. Now, why is this exciting for me? Well, it's exciting for me because if they've never been reviewed, that means they have never been what's the word I'm looking for? They've never had redactions. They don't know what's in them. And Trump's already signed for them to be released. And we're heading up to that deadline. I don't think Trump is going to settle for redactions in this. If I was Trump, and I can imagine he's already doing this story comes out, Trump's probably going to get his hands on them immediately. And that's my hope, at least. I would order them immediately, turn them over to me. And as president, he has the right to do that. Have your people go through this. But a lot of people are like, oh, we're not going to get anything out of the JFK files. It's already been out there. It's just going to be a little bit of stuff. Sorry, friends. If this is true, 2,400 records, 14,000 pages that they haven't reviewed yet, we might get some spicy stuff. So this could be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Brett, oh, that's an interesting theory. Bring it up again when I'm talking about that subject, because I'm going to be getting to that towards the end. All right. I want to talk about the short selling stuff towards the end. Jim says, when the Fed's gone, stocks will do better. I agree. Todd Earhart says, Elon, he tweeted that the Department of Education no longer exists. Isn't that awesome? Let me go on live with the Ape Father. I still don't know who the Ape Father is. Alan gifted 10 more memberships. Dude, you're so generous lately. This is amazing. I don't recognize a lot of these people, but Jay Abrams is in. I recognize Jay. Welcome. And Martin Lawrence. Welcome, guys. Welcome into the membership. Thank you so much. Membership's only $3, by the way, if you want to get in on all the extra stuff. They have not voted in Patel yet. He is getting vote on Wednesday, I think. So Vinman says, during COVID, we got a $2,500 check prediction with Trump and Elon's recovery of billions. Trump will send each citizen $5,000 each year from recovery. Oh man, if he does that, his approval numbers would just go through the roof. That'd be nuts. Todd with the 5 memberships. Thank you, Todd. That's awesome. Jeez, you guys, we're going to get everybody in here soon. This is amazing. You want to hear about aliens, aka demons? I mean, I don't have anything on that tonight, but bring it up sometime. That's a really good members live conversation. We like to talk about that kind of stuff in the members lives. Mark R says, Philadelphia Super Bowl and World Series wins had historically coincided with stock market calamity. 29 stock market crash, same year, Philadelphia Athletics won the World Series. Well, there you go. I probably won't talk to an AMC guy. Sorry, guys. I don't even know what that is. But Anyways, crazy stuff. All right. I got to keep going. There's just so much, guys. There's so much. Trump today signed 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum from all countries with no exceptions. This is crazy. And he said, you know what this means? It's the beginning of making America rich again. Why would we do that? Why would he target those? It seems kind of odd. It could like hurt us, maybe construction that might be hurtful. No, this is why. Trump's targeting 25% tariffs because China dumps its steel and aluminum in Canada below the price it's manufactured in North America. Canada rebrands it as a product of Canada to avoid U.S. import fees and dumps it in the U.S. market. So Canada has this deal with all these other countries of how to sneak their steel and aluminum in here without the import fees. It goes to free trade countries, get it in without the import fees. China makes money and they give Canada or whoever else a cut. That, my friends, is why we need to tariff this stuff. Also, it gets back to where we will start manufacturing our own again. And steel used to be American steel. I mean, it's famous. Just you say American steel, you know it's the best steel in the world. We need to get back to this. So this is just Trump being brilliant again. And I don't think this one is negotiable because this is on all countries. No exceptions. To me, that is not him looking for a deal. When you hit all countries up, you're not targeting anything. You're just saying this is the way it is now. So Trump is, this is a tariff that's going to stick. I'm kind of surprised the market didn't respond to it, but the market's going to learn, like, you got to take Trump seriously. And they thought his tariffs were a joke after the first couple times because he repealed them so fast, but he got deals out of them and they're in continuing negotiations. But now the market is slowing down. So Barron says, release the Alien Files. I didn't see the Alien commercial. Yeah, no exceptions. That's right. Trump will clap these, Steve, says Baron Bigley. I love it. Jim Boswell says Trump will bring back more steel mills. US. Amen. Amen. Stella says, weren't we told bad Chinese steel was used for some of our warships? Yes, I believe that was Trump that said that. It's used in almost everything now because we barely send out any of our steel. It's too expensive because they are just, China can make everything cheaper because their people are basically slaves. So when you don't pay people to do anything, and then you got with, the currency exchange and all that, they can move their stuff over here so much cheaper, and they're just robbing us blind. The fact that Canada's in on it just shows you Canada's not the friend they think it is. And I listen, I keep listening to the media and all this stuff and hearing all the stories going on, and all the libs can say is Canada's such a great friend to us. Like, this is just ruining our relationship with them. I can't believe we do this. This is just going to be so hurtful in the long term. And we're bullying them. No, Canada's been terrible to us. Are you kidding me? They're the little brother who has been walking behind in our shadow, making money off us, just robbing us blind, cutting it's like if you were a famous athlete and you put your little brother in charge of your finances and let him tag along, and you find out that not only are they skimming off the top, they're cutting licensing deals behind your back that only goes to them, and they're sleeping with your ex-girlfriend. That's who Canada is to us. It's just about as terrible as you could believe. Julie Argon asks, what do I think about the asteroid going to hit the Earth? Is that wormwood? No. I'll just make it easy for you. No, it won't be. Sorry. You know how many times we've heard this kind of stuff, Julie? It's not going to happen. No to Ape Father. Okay. Well, enough people I trust said no to that. So get big balls. I'll try to get big balls on. I don't think it'll happen, but I'll try. That would be amazing. Governor, is there any proof DOGE has eliminated wasteful spending? Doesn't Congress control spending? Yes and no. Congress allots spending. The executive branch, the president, is in charge of how it's spent. That's the Constitution. Anybody else who tells you otherwise is lying. The Congress, what they do is they apportion spending. So they say, we'll give this much money to the Pentagon, and we'll give this much money to the Department of Education, and we'll give this much money to this. And if it was a congressionally created place, then they get that budget. But the executive branch can come in and say, we don't like how you guys are spending this. We're putting all this money on hold right now, and you're not going to spend it. This is corruption. So Trump is fully within his legal means, everything he's doing, Goffinator. And if you're asking, is there any proof? Are you kidding me? Have you seen all the stuff coming out? It's rampant fraud, or at the very nicest, it's rampant abuse of the people's desires for how their money's spent. Rampant abuse. I mean, all the stupid programs for LGBTQ stuff, or funding these other countries in ways that we just know the people don't want it. So at the best, it's massive misappropriation. At the worst, it's rampant fraud. I believe it's rampant fraud. And that's why the Democrats are so mad, because it's going into their pockets. I guarantee you that's true. Otherwise, how else are all these people, and it's some Republicans too, how else are they becoming so filthy, stinking rich off their salaries? It makes no sense. Roblox Glamour, have I ever had a peanut butter and gumball sandwich? I'm not going to do that. No. No plans for that at all. Drew, the SEC we're going to talk about that later. I got that coming up towards the end when I cover the economy. Okay. Charlie says, can't get anything by Trump. He's a master in business. So fortunate. He loves his country so much. Amen. I agree with you completely. Absolutely. Roger, Chinese steel is inferior and unreliable. Ask any welder, inconsistent in grade and makeup. And that's why it's cheaper too. Totally agree with you. Deep F in Value says the biggest short position ever is held on Ethereum right now. Any thoughts on that? I would say that it's one of two things. A, I don't trust Ethereum, by the way. It's a little too centralized for my likes. So I believe Ethereum is the most manipulated out of the major currencies. The hedge funds and stuff love it. And they're probably hedging their bet by preparing it to fall at some point. That's most likely what I would say is happening. Why was Kendrick Lamar wearing bell bottoms? I don't know. I asked my daughter the same thing. What's up, Big JR? Love it. Stony Bones, a machinist for John Deere and Caterpillar. You mean machine steel daily. Chinese and Brazilian steel is garbage. There we go. You'll settle for Elon if I don't get big balls. I love it. Big B, you're saying your name. Oh, you guys are funny, man. You are too funny. I love it. Okay, I got to keep moving, guys, because it doesn't stop. Now, you want to know what I think is fraud. This is the kind of stuff I'm really passionate about right here. So you're asking about fraud. This is the kind of stuff right here that was funded by USAID, which is the NIH and Fauci. And anyways, just listen to this clip.
Implant aborted baby parts into lab animals. Have you heard of that sort of research?
Yeah, we did an analysis a few years ago showing that over 90% of experiments with using human fetal tissue and putting them involved animals were funded by Fauci's NIAID.
Do you know where they're getting the aborted human fetal tissue?
A lot of it is happening at colleges and universities that have affiliated hospitals that perform that procedure.
Madam Chair, I think we need to look into that as well. Implant aborted.
If that doesn't make you just sick to your stomach, I don't know what will. So this is the corruption we're talking about. It's pure evil, and some of the stuff that's been going on. And this is under USAID funds. So I'm sorry, I'm so happy this is happening. Goffinator asks, if Congress funds something, that money has to get spent. That's absolutely 100% not true. Goffinator, that's not how it works. If they allot the money, it is set aside. It's like a budget. Okay. If you are a business and you got a $100 million budget and your department gets 10 million, that doesn't mean you have to spend all 10 million. That's not how this works, especially and good luck defending that when our country is $2.5 trillion in debt yearly right now. That's our current running deficit. So good luck defending that, and good luck legally making a case that Congress can force that money to be spent when we're in a deficit that big. Good luck. So if Trump goes in and finds fraud as the executive and he says, we're not spending that money, then I completely disagree with you. I don't think now this will be litigated, and the Supreme Court is going to, I guarantee you, is going to side with me on this. But But you can have that opinion. It's wrong. Okay. It's just wrong. It's a budget. They are allotted the funds. They do not have to spend it. And I don't think anybody in history, including Bill Clinton, who sizably reduced the workforce of the federal government by 100,000, Democrat, okay, ever believed in this until they were all on the take, and now they don't want it gone. So, Michael Corleone, all family business will be settled. I like that. I like that. Dan Randall, you're happy we're finally entering into an hour days in the golden age. I agree. Yeah. It's a beautiful time. Fauci should be in Gitmo, says Hero. I agree. I think Fauci is going to go down as one of the most evil men who's ever lived. I think Dr. Fauci is going to go down in history alongside Hitler and Pol Pot, some other people who just committed atrocities, Stalin. I think if you read RFK Jr.'s book about Fauci, all the experimentations, all the horrible things he's done, yeah, it's the sickest stuff you'll ever find. It's atrocious, and it's the kind of experimentation on people, and then the way. Anyways, Anthony Fauci is going down someday. Mark my words. Especially as more and more comes out. By the way, Hero at Large, I didn't say thank you. Thank you for the amazing super chat, the $10 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And you're a Hero. You've always been a great supporter of mine. So I thank you so much. Brett reminds me to say, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you so much. Please do so. And if you're on Twitter or Rumble watching, go ahead and hit the follow. Thank you so much. Michael says, Lauren Boebert is kind of cute. There I said, kind of. She's smoking. What are you talking about? I have kind of a crush on her, but I'm happily married, so I don't need to go that way. Yes, just because they were Roger says working with government agencies, they were instructed to spend every dollar or their budget will get reduced. Exactly. That is true. That does not mean they had to spend it. Okay. That does not mean they had to spend it. Governor says, Coach Trump can fire everyone in the government. He could fire everyone in the EPA and budget would be zero. Even if Congress earmarks billions for them, that would be cool. Yeah. Well, okay. So can he fire everybody in the government? No. And the reason why is because he can fire a lot of people, but not everybody. Elected officials, obviously, but there's also people who are, and this is one of the stupidest things our government ever did, but our federal government literally gave away some of its rights to fire people by making deals with public sector unions. Those contracts are binding. You could argue they're unconstitutional, but since they were agreed upon through Congress, technically they're law, which would make them constitutional. So the public sector unions have really hurt us in this. And because of some of their abilities and deals, it's made it so Trump cannot fire just everybody. And on top of that, but Trump's getting around that, and that's why he's offering buyouts. In fact, you guys are making me jump ahead here, but that's okay. I wanted to show you more good news. So far, 65,000 federal workers have accepted the Trump administration's buyout offer. So we are weeding out a lot of people, and this is good. And you know that a vast majority of these are not the good ones. Vast majority of them. Because if you're a good worker, you love your job, you're not taking a buyout up till September. You're just not. Alan says, being an Army Reserve member, what was left of our unit budget was either spend it or you would get less next year's budget. Exactly. That's why they keep spending them, but not because they have to. And that was the question. Can the spending be stopped? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, from the executive branch. Fauci's a Dr. Mengele of our time. There you go. Brett says, Boebert or Carolyn? That would be a hard decision. You mean our new press secretary? Roger says, I'm not married. I'm going to take Lauren to the movies. I know Pam Bondi and Gnome are smoke shows too. There's some beautiful women out there. But like I said, I have a beautiful wife. I'm happily married. And so I just admire from afar. Dubois would take Tulsi. But yeah, so 65,000. And this is just genius of Trump because now they, by the way, the union is trying to block this, which is insane. No, you can't quit. Are you kidding me? That's so stupid. So it'll get overturned. A bunch of activist judges are trying to get some stuff in. But here's this. And this is interesting. So one of the most famous Supreme Court cases of all time is Marbury versus Madison. I think it was 1804 or 1806. And it explicitly affirmed the legal grounds on which Trump can ignore Engelmeyer's unconstitutional ruling. Now, Engelmeyer is the one who just came in and basically said, get out of the Treasury. Even the Treasury Secretary can't look into the Treasury data, which is just absolute insanity. Are you kidding me? But that's what he said. And Trump is ignoring it. And they're also ignoring, I believe, the cutting off of a lot of the federal funds executive order that was also a judge came out. By the way, this will all go up to the Supreme Court. And I believe the Supreme Court will rule in Trump's favor on all of this. But in Marbury versus Madison, it ruled the province of the court is solely to decide on the rights of individuals, not to inquire how the executive or executive officers perform duties in which they have discretion. Boom. You guys understand what that means? The executive branch is Trump, all his cabinet level people, and all his employees, which is technically the vast majority of the federal government. All right. Again, Congress appropriates the money. The executive branch job is to run the government. That is a big stinking job. Congress has a big job too. Pass laws. So the executive branch cannot pass a law that is legally binding. It can do executive orders under emergency actions, which only can be enforced so long as the current president's in. So it's not a law, and they can be challenged. Congress passes a law. It's the law of the land. And that's just how it is. And even the Supreme Court then goes and defers to that law. That's how it works. The court's job is to interpret the laws and make sure everybody's doing their job, but perform duties in which they have discretion. Well, the executive branch has discretion over the entire federal government, over all the employees. And so because of this, because of Marbury versus Madison, one of the most famous old Supreme Court cases of all time. So I believe the current court, being mostly conservative, will go back and use the statute, Marbury and Madison, their legal, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word right now, but basically just the fact that it's been established law. Questions in nature, political, or which are by constitutional law submitted to the executive can never be made in this court. Never be made in this court. So I'm telling you right now, the court's going to have Trump's back. All right. Roger says local Department of Education office scrambling to find their ass with both hands. Layoffs of senior workers has them paralyzed. They can't backfill their. Are you talking locally? Are you experiencing that? Brett says funniest thing today was watching Democrats trying to get government shutdown. Oh, I know. Yeah. Now that the funniest thing, you missed the funniest thing. You're right. They want to do a shutdown. The funniest thing is that they want to call it the Trump shutdown when they're the ones going to shut it down. Try it. I hope they shut it down. I really do. The people will blame the Democrats. They really will. So it's just crazy. Mike says, my old girlfriend said, I don't care you get your appetite as long as you come home for supper. Well, that's one way to do it. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Treasury is executive branch. That is 100% true. Yes. Precedent. Thank you guys. Precedent. That's what I'm talking about. Legal precedent. I don't know anything about the precedent thing. So, Department of Energy. Okay. Healthcare is a disaster. Don't know how it gets fixed. Going to be tough. They can fix it. You know, a lot of these things, guys, and we're going to keep seeing this miracle right now. But one of the things that's going to happen that's going to blow people's minds is how fast a lot of this stuff is going to be able to be fixed. I'm telling you right now. They are whipsawing through all this right now, and we're going to find so much stuff that is just awful as far as the spending. It's just going to get worse. This is only the tip of the iceberg, guys. We haven't gotten nearly into the corruption yet. Once we go deeper and deeper on all that, okay, it's going to get more and more exposed, and we're going to find how fast it is to correct a lot of it. Once it's corrected, In the executive branch, they weed out everything and they start rebuilding. Okay, once all that's done, it's going to get to the point where it'll filter into the people, and within a couple years, we'll start seeing that uptrend. Maybe even faster. It might be 6 months. But in health, it's the same thing. Once they ban all the bad stuff, your body heals really fast. So once we start getting everything sorted out in the health, I got to be very careful here because I'm on YouTube and they don't like me to talk about everything. But once we get everything sorted out, health-wise, especially in our food and in big pharma, it's going to be amazing how fast health will turn around. Just watch. They'll probably do something to crash the market. I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. More's coming, guys. I know Hero says we're only 3 weeks in. I know, it's crazy. All right, let's move on to the next story. By the way, please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. If you're on Rumble or Twitter, please follow. I do these lives most every night. I haven't been streaming on Twitter lately. I'm going to try. If you miss me, come on over to YouTube. But the stream's been working better, so I'm trying to get all 3 now in. But thank you very much. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead and join. $3 a month, and you get members lives, Discord chats, all that fun stuff. Okay, let's keep going. So, breaking: Trump has imposed a communications blackout across America's health agencies, including CDC, FDA, HHS, and NIH. They've been instructed to halt all external communications. This is a big deal. Why is this a big deal? Well, this takes away the ability to coordinate a pandemic. There it is. That's it. Full stop. All the whispers of bird flu, all the, everybody, you hear Bill Gates is out there. I wonder, we're going to have a pandemic coming up. These people, they're seeding it because this is one of the ways they beat Trump last time, beat him. Okay. Seriously hurt his first term and set up that election. That's not going to happen this time. And Trump's getting ahead of it because if blackout, they can't communicate with each other. And the external communications means they are not allowed to put out warnings to the general public. Why? A couple reasons. Number one, they're doing this to get it done before or hold off until Kennedy gets in. He doesn't want anybody in charge of these agencies putting out warnings right now before Kennedy comes in. So that's putting that on hold. 2, the bird flu, because they've been trying to ramp that up. They want to scare America. And this makes it so if they do so, they'll be defying law, which is executive order right now. And so this is how you beat a pandemic. You just shut them up. We already withdrew from the WHO. And it's just like that great meme that was going on for so long where like the Amish girl's like, Daddy, how come we didn't get COVID or experience COVID? And he's like, we don't watch TV. And that's what this is about. Just shutting down their opportunity to get a pandemic terror going out there. Big JR, did I talk about Nome getting 80% of NC victims their money in 5 days? No, I did not, but that is a big deal. And I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. So Kristi Noem, Trump came to Western North Carolina, said, I cannot believe they didn't get anything done here. The next day, construction crews were on site starting to rebuild bridges and stuff. And within 5 days, Kristi Noem had settled 80% of the cases where people had not gotten their money. So yes, big stuff there. Julie says, Bill Gates said there's a 10% chance of pandemic. Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell you. Exactly. And that's why they shut all this down. They had Gates out there trying to get the narrative going, and Trump said, screw it. You guys just aren't going to talk anymore. and he just keeps it going. And so Trump is just not playing games. In fact, little PSA from him.
We're going to make sure that it's good and it's not going to be woke. There's no more woke in this country. This woke has cost us a fortune and cost us our reputation, but the reputation's coming back very, very rapidly.
There's no more woke in this country. I love it. We destroyed woke. We have fully beaten woke, guys. It's amazing. It should be celebrated. And it comes back to tell you again that we won the biggest thing we won. The biggest thing we won is the culture. Because if you win the culture, everything changes. Okay. If you win political office, but not the culture, you change stuff a little bit. Okay. You can make some law changes, but the country doesn't feel that different. Okay. Maybe you make a little less money or a little bit more money, depending on the economics. But day to day, the country doesn't feel different. It doesn't really change. We won the culture war, and now everything's going to change. And Trump, again, just nailing it. Uh, Thomas says, "What's Twitter? Isn't that what Democrats call X out hate?" Sorry, I always forget it's X. Okay, it's so hard for me to get there, but I gotta remember. I'm sorry, Elon. Sorry if you're watching this. I'm sorry. Um, Roger says Noam deserves big credit for this. Oh, she's awesome. She's awesome, and it's only going to continue. Oh my God, Alan Krentz with 10 more memberships. Unbelievable, Alan, dude, you're the best. Thank you so much, man. You've just been incredible support lately. Fix It Man's back in. I haven't seen him in a while. Matthew Parker, one of the great supporters of this channel. Matthew Parker back in the membership. Thank you so much. Again, if you're in the membership, you now get the members lives Wednesday nights and access to the Discord. So please join the Discord. We'd love to have you. Hobbs says, like they said in Gladiator, win the crowd. Oh yeah, not only that, I'm glad you brought up Gladiator. He also says he knows what he's doing. Rome is the mob. You give them death and they'll love you for it. He's talking about, and just like today in modern America, the mob is the people. The mob is the people who can be entertained. And you know what they've been doing, guys? The reason America got to the way it was, and we can blame all these people, we can be upset, and we should be, for lying to us, for pulling the wool over our heads. But ultimately, it's our fault. It's the people's fault because it happened on our watch. We allowed it to happen. We didn't ask enough questions. We were content to watch our movies, play on our iPhones, play video games, watch pornography, go out drinking. We were content because we thought, they might be messing around, but it's not going to ruin our lives. We just want to focus on money. We just want to be left alone. And you know what? I get it. Every American, well, most Americans want that. But again, bringing it back to Gladiator, it's just like in the beginning when he says, "Now, Maximus, I want you shall be Caesar. Do you accept this great honor?" And he says, "Highness, with all my heart, no. Maximus, that is why it must be you." And in other words, the people who are the best in power are the people who want it the least. The people who want to be left alone. We need those people to be in power. We need those people to seek local office. We need those people to be leaders. If you feel that inclination, you want to disappear. That's a human inclination. It's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And it also means you probably should at least serve for a little time because we need you. We do. Trust me. I dream of living on the beach or living on a farm somewhere and just hanging out with my kids, being with animals outside. I want to be outside all the time. That is a dream for me. I do this show. I do love talking to you guys. I do love following the news. I do. It's energizing. But at the same time, it's not my ultimate. If I could afford it, if I could disappear, I would. I think most people feel that way. And the thing is like, we all need to step up for a season and do just whatever we can, big or small. Some of you, it's just community night. Some of you might have a call to do something big for a while. You might have the opportunity. And we need the good people to step up. And unfortunately, the good people are the ones who want to be left alone the most of the time. That's just how it works. But I hope one of the great lessons of where we've gone to, God saved us. God saved us by getting Trump in. It's an absolute miracle. We got him in. Okay. An absolute miracle. I knew God was going to give us that miracle because I knew I had a promise from him from 8 years ago that Trump was going to lead us to a golden age. And I held on to that promise, but it was still a miracle. And it happened because the people were waking up and Trump and his team just got us there. And now we have this amazing miracle happening. We get a second chance in America. We can't squander it this time. We have no more excuse. We have technology and the internet now that makes it almost impossible. Once somebody does the right thing and sets things in motion, it makes it almost impossible to go back into the shadows. So from now on, we'll never have that excuse to lose again, unless we get lazy, unless a generation and maybe us just let it get squandered again. And we just got to promise ourselves that we'll never do that. We need to raise our kids to, hey guys, you can do what you want to do at some point, but please, like, also, consider serving for a while. We all have we all have something we can give to humanity in our country. And if we do that, we'll be okay, as long as good people keep rising up. But if it gets to the point where they all quit, where all good people turn away, then it's always the evil who will seek power. And that's what we've been seeing for years and years. And this is what we're stuck with. James Flower says, in the darkest time, this channel gave me hope. Thanks. Oh my God, James. I mean, that's like one of the biggest compliments you could ever give me. So thank you. That means a lot to me. It really does. If I give hope to anybody, even one person, it was worth it. So thank you, James, for telling me that. That means the world to me. And you are so welcome. Hero says, Trump backs all the common sense stances. Dems have to back the lunatic opposition. That's very true. Yes, Alan, keep quoting it. Roger, what do you think we need to do to keep this going? He asks. We need to keep our foot on the gas. And what that means is, yes, getting our houses in order. It starts with family. It goes family, community, nation, world. That's how I look at it. Or you could say state, nation, world. And not everybody's called to serve their state or their nation or their city. Some people are just called to serve their family and their community. And that's totally fine. If that's you, that's great. Do that. But what keeps it going is good people continuing to say yes. Good people working on their marriages and making marriages work. Good people raising their kids right. Good people being involved. Good people refusing to tune out. Good people not just coming home, checking out on Netflix and letting their public schools raise their kids. If your kid goes to public school, I get it. But make sure you're engaged in their life when they're home. That's what it starts. It goes, and then I do believe it's spiritual too. So get your heart right with God, whatever that looks like for you. That's how it works. And then that leads to revival, and that leads to reform. That's how we do it. We have to never stop. Easy Studrex says, I like organizing. That's my passion. I try to help people with the shelving system. That's awesome, man. Good for you. What's up, Donna? All gas, no brakes, Doge. Yeah, speaking of Doge, I got more. I'm not even close to done yet. Well, I'm kind of close, but not that close. Check this out. Today, Department of Education terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. There you go. So one contractor was paid $1.5 million to observe mailing and clerical operations at a mail center. Are you kidding me? It just makes you so sick. Today, Department of Education terminated 29 DEI training grants totaling $101 million. One sought to train teachers, help students understand, interrogate the complex histories involved in oppression, help students recognize areas of privilege and power on individual and collective. Are you kidding me? This is so sick. It's so sick, and I'm so glad this mind virus is going away. Department of Agriculture terminated 18 contracts for a total of $9 million, including contracts for Central American Gender Assessment Consultant Services. Are you freaking kidding me? Brazil Forest and Gender Consultant Services and Women in Forest Carbon Initiative Mentorship Program. This is the nonsense we've been spending our money on, guys. It's the sickest, stupidest stuff. And it's going bye-bye. It's going the way of the dodo. Like Trump said, there is no woke left in our country. I absolutely love it. And, we got to move on because we can't let guys like this stay in charge. Do you guys see this?
How are you feeling, Leader McConnell?
That's Mitch McConnell just being wheeled around like a paraplegic vegetable. And that, my friends, was the Senate Republican leader
How are you feeling, Leader?
until about 6 months ago. This is what's wrong. This is unbelievable. It's so sick. Term limits have to be something that comes up soon too. And when we started our government, they didn't do term limits. You know why? Did you realize that when we started this government, the presidency didn't even have term limits? George Washington served 2 terms. And so every following president respected him and stuck with 2 terms just to honor Washington. We used to have honor in this country. And then Roosevelt came in, the commie, I'll call it like it is. Franklin Delano Roosevelt comes in, and he power hungry commie punk. And he wins 4 times, changes the standard. And then we got a constitutional amendment, but they limit the president's terms. They didn't do it with Senate and House. Funny. They didn't used to do that though, because it used to be much more honorable. You served for a time and then you went back to your home. But now with travel and everything, making it so much easier to serve in Congress, people just hang out there for 100 years. It's disgusting. And that's when we get paraplegic Mitch. Mangled Mitch. Look at that man. How is this man serving our country? It's just, not only that, he's corrupt as hell, but I mean, gross. Who will replace Mitch McConnell? It'll be somebody from Kentucky, so it'll probably be good. Skyflyer says people don't live as long. Well, that's actually not as true as you think it is. You're correct. A lot of people don't know this. You're correct that the life expectancy was lower. That is 100% true. But do you know why it was lower? It was lower because only half of children made it to 5 years old and beyond. So half of children died before 5 years old. So you know what that did to life expectancy? That's why life expectancy in this country was only like 45, 50. It was because of so many children dying. Once you made it past 5, you had almost as good a chance to make it to 80 as we do today. That's the facts. Go look it up. It's true. But most people don't know that. Most people think that everybody lived to 45 and just back then, but that's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. So once they fix the problem of children dying at such a young age, the life expectancy skyrocketed very quickly. Should have a wake-up call at Strom Thurmond passed, right? Dianne Feinstein was a carrot at the end. Oh, man, she was bad, and so was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's terrible. Now, I get Supreme Court justices serving life, and I know that a few of them get so bad at the end, it's gross. I get that. But I like that they have life because then they don't have any pressure. But maybe you could limit it to, say, 30 years or something. But I think the judges should be on much longer than everybody else. I do. I think that should, maybe they have a life or an age limit. Maybe they have to retire at 75, something like that. But judges, it makes sense. But everybody else should have term limits. Roger says, I serve my community as an elder single male in your church, serve single mothers in many ways. You're blessed financially with skills they lack because they have no return. That's amazing, Roger. Good. God bless you guys. I have such good people in this community. I love it. By the way, if you're new to the community, please subscribe. Consider subscribing. Like this video. If you're on X or Rumble, go ahead and follow. I appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, you can join for just $3 a month or eat super chat or whatever you want to do. I appreciate it very much so. Members get extra lives where we go into deep dive, all kinds of fun stuff, and once a week, and then they get access to the Discord chat. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Tucker had this to say today, and I had to share it because this paints a picture of what's going on in Europe because of Ukraine. And well, Let's just see what you think.
Last weekend, I had a meeting in a ski resort in the Alps, which is probably the most expensive town in the world. I was not there to ski, for the record, but the whole town is Ukrainian. You know, all the visitors are Ukrainian, and they're rolling into air maze and dropping $1 million in an afternoon. All through Europe, you see this. The richest people are the Ukrainians. That money is ours. It belongs to me and you and every other American taxpayer. That's where it's going. Second fact, not guess, fact is the Ukrainian military is selling a huge percentage, up to half of the arms that we send them. Half. And I'm not guessing about this.
How crazy is that? So Ukraine, Tucker's talking about going to the Alps and seeing that Ukrainians are the richest people there on vacation, dropping $1 million like it's nothing. That should concern all of us. That should piss all of us off. That's our money. That's our money. They've been laundering this money like crazy. And these are obviously the oligarchs, the drug lords, cartel lords, whatever is going on over there. But that's our money. And they're just having a great time about it. I mean, Tucker's stuff on this has been really good lately.
I know that for a fact, not speculation. And a lot of us winding up with the drug cartels on our border. This is a crime, what's happening. Our intel agencies are fully aware of this. You tell me they're not profiting from this. Of course, you think CIA is not profiting from this? Yes, they are. Can't prove that, but I believe that. But they don't know this. I know this, but they don't know this. They know this. No one is saying it. Like, no American seems aware of this. We're sending these arms to Ukraine, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's being stolen and sold to our actual enemies. Like, what the?
So, I mean, listen, I fully mean it when I say that I think there's a chance we might, as we uncover all this corruption and everything, I think there's actually a chance that we could actually see the debt, the yearly debt eliminated even maybe this first year. Can you, I mean, that's a crazy statement. We're talking about $2.5 trillion that have to be shaved. But guys, think about it. This is just, we've barely gotten into anything. USAID is set 0.7% of the budget, not even 1%. And think about how much we've already saved there and discovered. I mean, I don't have time tonight to get into all the Social Security stuff that they're finding, Medicare. Once those are audited, there's going to be so much savings. Once the Pentagon's audited, which they've already said they're heading towards next. Once they shut down the Department of Education, it's all going to add up. It's all going to add up. We might find that we were only in debt, completely only in debt, $2.5 trillion a year. We might find out that all of that debt was simply servicing corruption and lining pockets of the most evil people around the world. We literally were funding the most evil people in the world for years, to the tune of not just our tax dollars, but our children's futures were being mortgaged for it. This is the miracle that is Trump. This is the miracle that is Trump right now. And again, if you guys don't see this as a miracle, I don't know what to tell you. What's happening now is nothing short of just every day. It's more and more. It's just miraculous. 3 weeks. It's only been 3 weeks. Can you imagine? This is unreal. All right. Before we go down, Brett real quick says, don't remember who said it, but our population has gone up 2%. Our budget's gone up 56% every year. That's insane. That's insane if true. That might just be under the Biden, because if we were going up 56% every year, I don't know how we would have a much higher budget than we do now, but still. Yeah, Alan, you might be right. It might be a little bit more over 1. Paul Young says, after all the audits, don't be surprised if we have a surplus. That's true. Yeah. The piggy bank's closed. I agree. Hero says Ukraine could be annexed in like Greenland to get our money back. Yeah, I don't think Russia would like that. Just saying. Brett says, and then the latest one for Kenny and Social Security is 6.5 million people over the age of 112. Oh, are you 6.5 million? I hadn't heard that number. That is wild. 6.5 million over the age of 112. That is a lot of savings right there. That's a lot of savings. Oh yeah, I agree, Roger. We need to see it through. It's our miracle we get to share in and partner in, but it is a miracle. All right. I'm going to finish with a little bit of economic stuff, because I do think some bad's coming before it gets good again, because it has to be reset. Okay, I've been saying this for years, and it really looks more and more like it's coming. Gold is now almost at 3,000. It hit 2960, and people ask, why is gold going so high? Because people are running to safety. This is not just retail deciding to buy gold. This is big people, hedge funds, wealthy people hedging their bets. This is what this is, and they see something coming. So just get ready. Social Security is a scam. I agree. Roger, Trump did say he wanted all the rare earth minerals in Ukraine in return for the aid. I do remember him saying that. Brett says 6.5 million people are the age of 112. In any given time in the world, there's a maximum of 40 people attend. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. I agree with you completely, Goffinator, on that. Oh, I forgot. This is not. I just threw this story in there, and it was supposed to be earlier. So, and then I'll finish with the economic stuff. Ozempic. I don't know if you guys have looked into it or anything, but I'm telling you, if you're going to do Ozempic, just be careful, because it's the health stuff coming out of Ozempic is horrifying more and more. So, but more Americans on Ozempic go blind. That's just came out today. So anyways, I'm not going to go deep diving into that one, but I just wanted to share it because I saw it and it was crazy. All right. California housing crash has started, and values have plummeted over 50% as people face the idea of rebuilding without insurance. If you have a mortgage that's now half of what you paid for, what do you do? Half. California. We're talking Palisades. We're talking $10 million houses that are now being valued at $5 million as they're rebuilding. This is insane, guys. This is insane. This could have a ripple effect across the entire nation because there's so much money tied up in this this California housing crash, or housing in general. And as a point of reference, he references before 1929, the crash, there was a Florida housing market crash. So this is, we could see a ripple effect, bankruptcies, insolvencies, and local and the regional banks. Remember, we already have a commercial real estate crisis in this nation. If it becomes what's the word? Sorry, guys, it's late. Words are escaping me. But if it becomes a crisis of regular people in their homes, it's going to get really bad, really fast. And in California, it's already starting. So that's something to watch out for. And then fat blind people, well, they'll be skinny if Ozempic. So what's up, Cindy Lou? You're late, but that's okay. FICA says housing parts has set the margin. It only takes a couple houses to sell below market to reset all comps. Exactly. FICA's here 100% right. Okay, so today we got this horrible news. And that is that the SEC allows temporary exemption for short selling reporting rules. So we had new reporting rules that came in. We're supposed to go into effect January, and they've pushed it now to next February. So they get a year. It's not like they didn't have a year to prepare already. The SEC just granted them another year on these short rules. And people are going to say, what? This is Trump's. How does this happen with Trump? There's nothing to do with Trump. The SEC is not being run by Trump's people right now. It is being run by Gary Gensler's people, his staff, because the Democrats are holding up all of Trump's nominees. So Paul Atkins, who's supposed to be heading the SEC, hasn't even gotten his hearing yet. We still have several Trump cabinet members 3 weeks in that have not been nominated. That have not been confirmed. We're waiting for the SEC. This is not Trump's SEC. So you say it happened on Trump's watch, but it's not his SEC. So could this be overturned? I think it's possible. But for now, this is just terrible. So they're trying to draw this out as long as possible. Now, why would they put such a fit right now? Well, maybe because they know the market is about to go through some really tough stuff this year. Really tough stuff. And they want to be able to manipulate as much as possible, which they cannot if it's all transparent. As a result of exemption, filings on initial form, SHO reports from institutional investment managers need to exceed certain specified thresholds will be due by 17th of February, 2026. That's insane. Previously, compliance date was January 2nd. Forms due by Friday. We were supposed to get this stuff by this Friday, and they pushed it. It's disgusting. And the SEC is a criminal organization at this point. And I really hope to God Paul Atkins cleans it up. Now, if he doesn't, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel still can go after these people. And I believe they truly will. Remember, they're both huge stakeholders of DJT. And Devin Nunes is talking to Trump and these people all the time. So I don't think they're going to get away with this, but they're doing everything they can to discourage us right now. Robert says they're going to crash the market they shorted to cover. Yep, they're going to try. Roger says saw some of Cash's hearing. It was disgusting. Oh yeah, it was terrible. I watched the whole thing last week or 2 weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks now? Jeez Louise, it's going fast. Brett says, looked at short selling rules, new timeline. Personally think data has been corrupted for so long. Trump's going to start with a new SEC chair so data can be reset. So information or data from his administration, not any prior. And it's possible. That's absolutely possible. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. But speaking of the economy and where we're going, things are really bad right now. Reverse repo is basically drained, which means liquidity is going bye-bye. And then we find this out. I want you guys to listen to this.
Yeah, it's worrisome. You know, the Fed basically has become now just a giant hedge fund. It's lost $1 trillion, you know, and counting. It's going to be a gigantic loss. What it does is borrows money at 5.4% from banks and then dumps it into government.
The Fed, he says, is a giant hedge fund and is borrowing money from banks at 5.4% and is down $1 trillion. This is our central bank. This is crazy.
Bonds. So think what that trade does. That causes the government to think that it's better off than it is. And so that encouraged the government to be short when rates were zero. So why did the government, borrow so much in T-bills? Well, because the Fed was buying the bonds and it made it look like yields were going to stay low for, remember the low for long phrase. So we've got these multiple problems that are going on and it endangers the dollar. So that's the basic case.
Instead of the Fed having such large balances, wouldn't the private sector be starting businesses and risking capital and bringing returns and adding to growth? Wouldn't all that money be better if it wasn't with the Fed?
That's right. And we're depending on private equity. So as the banks get squeezed out, because they're lending so much to the Fed, it's literally a floating rate loan from banks to the Federal Reserve so it can buy government bonds. So if that were freed up, that would allow the banks to at least consider a small business loan and inventory loan, the kinds of things that help the economy grow. And this is on a global basis. It's not just the Fed. It's all the major central banks doing the same thing, meaning taking money from the economy in order to buy government bonds. We need to be clear on that. I heard the previous segment, they talk about money printing. There isn't any money printing on it. It's just money borrowing, and they pay top dollar for it. The Fed pays 5.4 to banks and 5.3 to money market funds, so to the Fidelity and Vanguard and so on.
You think that?
Guys, that is a bombshell. Do you understand, like, what a huge deal that is? That is just crazy. I mean, if the Fed, this is the racket they're in right now. So the Biden administration was selling T-bills like crazy. This means the Fed hasn't just been printing money and just doing its own thing, keeping banks up. It's actually been just enabling the government to go more in debt by buying the T-bills. And so the Fed is just creating more debt, and it's in debt. This is this craziest thing. If this guy's right, this house of cards is so much worse and bigger than we all thought it was. This has just been a complete racket. And they've been paying the banks, like the banks are lending just to the Fed and not to us. I mean, this is insane. So this means that and he says all the world banks are doing this. This means we are in way worse shape, and we were already in horrible shape. But the Fed has been acting as if, even though a lot of things are in bad shape, the Fed's been acting as if they are at least okay and things are going fine. And now we find out that the Fed itself is basically bankrupt. It's just it's just playing the market, but it's way behind. This is real trouble. Real trouble. Carlson guillotine in front of the White House. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. FICA says they probably have to in order to keep banks solvent. Well, that's exactly right. The banks are terrible right now. When you take the commercial real estate issue and then credit right now, remember that pay as you go, like Affirm, all those like that you can get at Walmart or whatever, the real quick, those quick loans, those aren't even covered. Those don't even register on your credit. So we have no idea how much worse in debt America is. And nobody's paying this. Like nobody's paying stuff off. There's no money going into the banks. It's insane. Brett says Yellen's directly responsible for this, selling treasuries and trying to prop up the market with the plunge protection. Exactly. But this tells me that the plunge protection team can't do squat. That's what this tells me. Is that the Fed is already that far underwater. There is no plunge protection team anymore. Alan says, wait, banks loaning money. Where's the money coming from? Yours, mine, checking and say exactly. Yes, banking incest. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly. They're taking our money and instead of, excuse me, what banks are supposed to do is hold our money, invest it, create more wealth, and lend that wealth out to the people, to the markets, to keep the capital flowing all the time. But instead of sending that money, mine and yours, instead of sending it into the economy, they're sending it straight to the Fed. And then the Fed is using it to buy T-bills so that the United States can go into more debt. The Democrats, Biden's administration, can just keep digging into deeper debt and fund LGBTQ operations in Sudan. That's how and line all their pockets and make Ukrainian cartel leaders and weapons dealers, arms dealers, make them rich. That's what we were doing. Michael Anthony says, will banks fall like they did in 2008? Michael, I think whatever is coming is going to be worse than 2008. I do. I could be wrong. There might be some miracle, especially because we have Trump in there and a genius economic team that might have a plan that we're not thinking of that saves us. But if the way things are set up right now, yes, it'll be worse. Brett, the Fed is so far underwater within the last pump of NVIDIA. Hands are tied. Yeah, it's bad. Money in banks is margins banking. That's right. You're right. Yeah. Brett says, complete tinfoil hat theory. I still think they're derivatives and financial instruments to damage our economy from the 2008 crisis. I think they've been rehypothecated and resold numerous. Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't think that's even a tinfoil hat theory. I think that's exactly what's happening. So anyways, guys, on that note, what a show. It's been an hour and a half. That's how long it took me to get through everything. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the support, all the people who gave tonight, the memberships, the super chats. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for the support. It does take a lot of work to put this show together. So I appreciate you guys so stinking much. Members, for your support always. Everybody else have a great night. I'm going to check out, I'll be back on tomorrow. Please like and subscribe if you haven't before, or follow me on X or Rumble. I would greatly appreciate the support. Let's keep making this channel bigger and we'll just keep going, baby. We got so much to go. The Trump time is amazing. The golden age has started. It's a beautiful time to be alive in America. I truly believe it. Don Clady, have I listened to Troy Black? I have. Yeah. Overall, I like him, but I think he's boring. But I think he's accurate on a lot of stuff. So Thomas Dubois, deposit 10 million, get 5% interest, and a few months later, after the bank has rehypothecated your deposit to loan out to 10 to 20 people and pull your money. You could, but they won't give it to you all at once. I guarantee it. Apollyon says Trump's team is very aware of the situation. Don't count on his team. I agree. I do think they're aware, but I just don't know how much they can fix ahead of the correction. I think so. We'll see. All right, Roger. Sounds good. Yeah, Brett, I haven't seen it. I'll have to look at it. Alan says, can I do your favor? Saturday works very well. I'm not doing lives all the time on weekends anymore. That just was a rare one, but I'll see what I can do. Usually Sundays work better for me. Anyways, guys, let's end in a prayer as always and call it a night. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless this amazing community. And I just pray you stir us all, God, to what we can do in our communities and in the world to make sure that this momentum keeps up and never, ever goes back. And we can be like in Proverbs, it says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. I want to leave an inheritance to my children's children. And so, God, just help us do that in how we raise them and in what we can give them to grow. So thank you for the miracle of what's happening in our country. And God bless everybody here and give us wisdom going forward, how to navigate these crazy times. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.